Hello and welcome back to EPIC44 with Intel, sponsored by Asus, ROG and Overclockers. I'm going to be your play-by-play caster today, Quicks, and I'm joined as always by Mads Bear, who is going to be your color caster for today for our VALORANT tourney, which is sponsored by Asus Republica Gamers. Tell us a little bit about the teams. That's what I want to hear.
Okay, so Ailurus.
Yeah.
Good team, very strong team. We've got some good players. We've got Jackal, Sharpie, and Jake, all who have had experience, playing in some sort of tournaments before. I'm sure the other players have as well. Compared to Pub Aim,
Yeah.
very strong players, right? But I've been informed that these guys are solely here to have a good time.
Yeah.
Good play again, but I'm not too sure. They're here to have a few drinks, have a few laughs.
Yeah.
Still gonna be a good game though.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, they're skilled enough as individuals that even when
Yeah.
playing for fun, they're still going to be putting out a pretty decent performance, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, from what we've seen of them before, and from what we've seen today, which is mainly Lotus, what kind of maps are we hoping to see?
Fracture.
You want to see Fracture?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Brand new. It's back.
It's here.
It is here. It's possible. I want to see it.
I love Fracture. It's my favourite map to play.
Yeah.
I've not had the pleasure of
Never mind.
casting Fracture yet, though, but it is gone, and we are going to have Haven.
Okay. Not a bad map. I think since Ascent left
Yeah.
the map pool, I think Haven's that default map now. That go-to for those mechanics to really be used. So I think it's going to be pretty even split here.
Yeah, yeah, it should be. I mean, the teams which we have are pretty evenly balanced with each other, right? So a lot of it's going to come down to the team comp and just how much Pub Aim go towards the fun aspect over the winning aspect as well,
yeah,
a little
100%.
bit. But I mean, going into Haven,
Yep.
I mean, obviously Killjoy's not really going to be a strong pick anymore
Yeah.
because Taeho just ruined her.
Yeah.
So what kind of comps are we expecting to see?
I mentioned it earlier. I think Vice is that kind of perfect position between Cypher and Killjoy.
Yeah.
Especially now that you mentioned Taeho being in play. You can use those lurks, and that flash really helps for that lurk, which is usually the role of that Cypher.
Yeah.
As well as really being able to hold down sites like Killjoy. So I think definitely going to be seeing some Vice. Possibly could even use that flash as an initiator. So they might want to maybe focus on double controller rather than a breach, for example. But personally, big breach fan on this map.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to, right? C
Very
long,
true.
A long, mid. They're all such great angles for this
Yeah.
breach stun to be used.
Yeah.
That you really should be playing breach.
Let's be honest, it's still strong in garage and short as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, like, you could just
It's
put him anywhere,
yeah.
and his util's going to work,
Exactly.
pretty much.
Yeah,
So-
100%.
Definitely going to see Breach.
I'm interested on the duelist because again, Neon has been nerfed, and I'm okay. Jet makes
Instant
sense.
Killjoy lock.
Ooh.
Maybe we're not seeing Taeho.
Maybe not, but we are.
Oh, we might be seeing Taeho. So we might be seeing Killjoy get completely counted.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Yoru as well makes sense. We've been seeing a lot of Yoru recently.
Yeah.
It's been working. There's the breach
True.
as well on either side, which I mentioned. Again, you can't not, right? It's a perfect opportunity to be playing such a strong character. And again, Omen making sense. That default kind of smokes the go-to, if you will.
We've
Not looking
actually
too bad.
opted to switch off of Taeho. So it's only really the Sova ult for countering Killjoy util.
Yeah, not to mention Chamber's their only Sentinel. I'm going to go for a really strong, fast-paced, let's go get kills game? Possibly.
Let's be honest. If you call yourself Pub Aim, you've got a Chuck Chamber in there. You know?
That's very true.
Chamber is just pure aimer. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like it's just fitting.
I'm liking this, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would change on either side?
I'm only going to say the Sentinel on Pub Aim, but again, we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
The Jet works. I think Yoru could possibly be better, but Jet with the entry alongside Breach, I'm thinking would be more of a pair here. Not to mention the pair between both of the initiators. Both teams have Sova and Breach on their side, so which has been used so well on this map before.
Yeah.
Like you will often see them pairing up and like playing in pairs, like around the map, doubling up and trying to get those trades because the information with the stuns and the flash is so powerful.
Honestly, I mean, when you know exactly where someone is, it already gives you the advantage.
Yeah.
And if they can't even run away or shoot
Yeah.
back, you know, That is just free pickings.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with that jet dash as well.
Yeah.
You know, get a dart backside C, stun straight down, jet dash in. Not much you can do.
I think that's going to be the one thing which makes Jet stand out against Yoru, is the fact that, yes, Yoru can TP in to be aggressive, but then you're stuck in your animation for pulling your gun back out. You can't fight straight away, but you might get like picked off.
Exactly. And not to mention they have that chamber to sit back on those long angles and hold, you know, C or A long if they need to.
True, true. So the comps are very, very balanced towards each other. It's mainly only the difference of the Jet and the Yoru. I think that is the only difference, is the Jet and the Yoru.
If obviously they might try to play a little bit slower, Ailurus, obviously with that that Killjoy, very fast lock, like you mentioned, basically insta lock. They're confident. They want this Killjoy, and they're aware that Pub might have played Taiho. They don't care. That Killjoy clearly knows what they're doing.
True, true. I mean, it's always scary to see someone insta lock a Sentinel.
Yeah,
because you know that their brain is just it switched on.
It's usually Cypher though. Cypher's that usual insta lock where you're like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing and when.
Yeah, true. I feel like Killjoy oftentimes on these free site maps, you end up wasting your util on your setup, but you don't actually get to use it against a push.
100%.
You like half of the game.
Yeah, you have to put it down pretty much instantly, and then if they don't go to your site, you can save it, but then if they do go to your site, what do?
You can't really set up as they push
exactly,
you.
because they'll destroy it. They'll see it as soon as it gets placed down. So it's a really hard decision to make, but again, if you're confident and you know what you're doing, this could be working well with the team comp that they have. I'll have to wait and see.
Very true, and that insta-lock only suggests confidence.
Exactly. I think typically on this map, we tend to see B pushes first. It's very interesting to see how these guys are going to play. Again, I think Pub might be trying to play a little bit faster, whether they're on attack or defense.
Yeah, very true. I mean, we've seen Pub starting here on the defense. I want to see the chamber peaks.
Yeah, but
I want to see the aggressive chamber.
We have the breach stone waiting down short with the jet dash as well, and it's looking like an A push from Ailurus.
Looks like that stun's going to go into 4 people. Already comes through. Going for the peak of the Yoru TP into short doesn't quite work out for you, and Batman falls. Already the first pick within only seconds. And everything just slows down completely. I'm not sure how I feel about the instant Yoru TP into short.
No, I get the aggression, but you just have no information going down there.
It's just, all you knew was the stun. Yeah. So you knew you were TPing into a possible push against someone who wasn't stunned. And that doesn't really make sense for the play.
No.
But maybe it was more of a go for the cliff angle, you know?
They found my trap.
Such slow gameplay for a pistol round. Shots do go across into C. Just trying to look for any space. Mid control completely taken by Pub Aim. Peek's coming through on the window. Only spams. No one is really committing to any fights anywhere, but A-site has been left open, and the space will be getting taken, but Joblo gets the pick over onto Baked Deans with the wallbang with the Headhunter. 5 versus 3 post-plant's going to be difficult if you don't go for this aggression. Don't try to get some picks, but there's a fight going over into CT, and Jake gets the headshot over onto Rons. Almost balancing out the players. You don't want to give too much of an advantage. But everything's just slowing down again, just waiting for this executed retake, which isn't what we're expecting from Pub Aim. They're here for fun team. It looks like that's what they want to do. Flag,
not
tricky.
The first round. Okay.
Surely, okay, I thought there was going to be a possible knife kill, but gets the headshot. Joblo comes through with a pick of his own. The defuse is already going through it, and it's halved.
Hold on.
That's just that. Pub Aim with first round.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. I would also point out almost every kill from Pub Aim was a headshot. Or one tap.
Good to know.
That's a good start.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, I mean, like you mentioned, it was such a slow round. Especially for a pistol round, you usually expect, you know, full-on rush. Okay, to be fair, I think they tried it with the Yoru. Didn't work. Like, okay, maybe let's back it off a little bit, and Pub Aim kind of took that on board as well.
Yeah, it was extremely, extremely slow at the start. I mean, that's not really what you expect, especially with teams like this, who have been known for being quite aggressive
Revealing
so
area.
far this tournament, and then they just completely
There they
slow
are.
everything down. Not sure if slow is the choice this time with full push up into mid. Trying to go for wall bangs of a pixel peak.
Cover going out.
The gate crash has been thrown back sight on B. Is it going to work out for you this time? Flash comes through. TP is faked. And giving up all space that was gained. Joblo gets the pick with the Outlaw. Baked Beans falls. Steal that Sheriff. They like to take those close range fights. So things are just slow again, but Lakaj gets caught out through the door.
There's still a minute on the board. There's time.
This is true. Surely you just want picks.
Exactly, but when you're staring down an outlaw, not too sure. And the up down.
It's a very difficult fight to take. Shots coming through the door. And the wallbang can be had, and Batman falls down. It's now a 5 versus 2 with only 50 HP.
30 seconds left. Here.
Space being taken by Jake here, but Lennox might have had the timing just to be able to see it at the last second, but I'm not sure. The plant is going down. Manages to deny the plant, but gets taken down by Jake. That's at least one pick for the side of Ailurus. And then the headshot from Iris. It's like a slow gameplay.
I know.
It's
I'm not
really,
expecting
really
it.
slow.
I think they're really going into this going, okay, let's figure out how each other play. If they're both playing slow and a bit cautious, that's never going to work.
No.
But now, we've got guns on both sides. Obviously, Parbaim only losing one gun that round, so I think it's going to be more even than Ailurus would have liked. But still, they have a chance. They're getting these guns looking like a C push. This isn't bad. With that chamber, yeah, he's very strong, but he's one trip, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's very hard to hold down that site.
Yeah, exactly. Not really taking much map control with it. Goes for the initial aggressive peek. It's a full flood up long. Spam's going through the smoke. Just chaos everywhere. Gunshots going back and forth. Joblo gets a pick, but not before getting traded out by Batman with the Phantom. Iris going for a peek over from platform. Gets taken down. Jake with the Phantom of his own. The headshot, the one tap from Tricky. Shut down by Jake. 3 versus 2. Spike will getting planted. A few spams going through with a dash out onto site. Went for a knife but got taken out with a headshot. And then Jake goes and takes out a 4K. Why is Lennox going for the knife
I don't know,
kill?
man. Not too sure if it's on purpose or not, but who really cares? We love to see it. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But this is what we're meant to see, right? There's quite a lot of games we've had where we haven't seen that team that have lost the first 2 pistols come back and get that 3rd round. So we're seeing the default style of play that should be happening.
It's just insanely slow.
I know, we're a bit more... I get it, right? I understand it, but at the same time, they haven't got the best defense. You can really try, maybe get 1 or 2 picks and you're instantly there.
Yeah.
Maybe try a bit more aggressive. Like, yes, the slow's working for them, but not massively.
Flight.
You could be a lot more aggressive if you're Ailurus.
Yeah.
Due to only having that 1 trip from chamber, there's not really much to stop you getting into sight if you just full flood on.
Again, really, really slow.
Just for patience from everyone in this lobby, not to just insta-peek each other. We're going to cross out into mid, straight into the crosshairs of Lakaj.
It's an operator.
I hear the operator. I'm ready for the operator.
Scatter.
Yuta going through the Omen all up into heaven. Going to try to take that space.
Blind.
Gate crash over into back sight, and the headshot goes through from Jake and Tricky with the wallbang.
Stealing sight.
There's that operator, comes through, takes down Batman. No going for the knife this round. A little bit more aggression needed from Pub Aim here. Kind of giving too much time for Ailurus to set up.
Here.
Just playing so slow again, even though everyone's at such close quarters, and the trade goes through. 2 fall, and they opt for the second pick. Bladestorm coming out in the 2 versus 1, gets taken down.
Yeah.
So the headshot from Iris. I mean, Lanix kind of scared me there
I
with
know.
popping that ult and just jumping around the corner. It's a little bit of a risky play.
That's true, but at the same time, you're getting closer and closer into, in that 2v1 onto site. You're going to kind of want to be, flicking around corners quite fast, a lot more than usual. So it makes sense, but at the same time, I wouldn't say a waste.
Half and half. I mean,
Yeah.
the pressure put on
Yeah.
you might be able to argue it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if a blade storm's pop, they jump around a corner, you have to respect it if they still have the accuracy, right?
Yeah. 100%. But overall, not a bad round. Okay, yeah, it did go towards pub aim, but you get down to 1v1. Both teams have clearly played well.
Yeah, Pub Aim who now have an op again.
Yep.
With the Tour de Force coming out from Joblo. Is there still an op in the hands of Lanix? Just a double op round. Spam's going through. Does manage to take some damage onto Tricky. Iris falling down over in mid. Followed surely by Lanix. Lackcaj managing to get a double kill out of a window against an op, but Tricky with an answer to that question with a headshot through the wallbang. And now everything slows down again. 3 versus 4, low HP on 2 people. You kind of have to slow down, right?
Yeah, kind of, rethink your strats here. It's probably not... Well, I mean, they have beat there.
Timing comes through, another pick. With the Tour de Force peeking up through into mid, the Paranoia comes out.
So just to completely ignore.
Ahead.
Just not even fussed that they can't see.
Oh!
Survives the wallbang from the op. The plant will be going down over towards A-Link. Pub Aim are so spread out here.
Yeah, it's not looking too great. I mean, they got all sorts of angles cleared. Like they're on their ones. It's not. Hold on, was that another?
The op shots are just skimming everyone, and it's getting very scary. Aftershot going over to the front of sight. Hunter's Fury will get deployed. Trying to find any damage through into sight. The headshot with the operator, followed by Baked Deans with a pick over onto Joblo. It's a 1 versus 3. Hunter's Fury didn't manage to find any impact taken out with the op. There was so many op shots fired that round.
Few of them hitting.
But only half the amount of kills.
Few leg shots. But I think obviously that op was originally on Pub Aim's side, and then got taken off in mid from Lanix there. Then went on to get a few more kills from Ailurus. So it's unfortunate, but it does happen. You're peeking mid. You've got one shot, right? And if you miss it, you're out in the open.
That is true.
And it's kind of unfortunate. You got your dash, but sometimes it's not fast enough.
There's only so much that one dash can do to save when you're getting pushed by 2 people, but there's a flood. 3 players coming out into mid, headshot over onto Tricky through the smoke, through the window. Lanix caught in a tricky situation, manages to take down Batman with the stinger, but gets traded out by Baked Deans. Another shot transferred over to take down Iris. Denied that garage push, is going for the aggression. Joblo falls, followed shortly by Rons. I don't blame them for being so aggressive on a pistol round.
No, it makes sense. I think it's a little bit unfortunate that the whole of Ailurus were waiting around garage.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does happen, but it makes sense with the pistol round. You maybe try and get 1 or 2. Again, I don't think they were expecting to be that close. Maybe 1 lurking and try and get that gun, and then from there you can try and play further on with that Vandal. But it's a bit like it's unfortunate. But I don't think they expected anything from it.
True. You don't expect to get much from that,
No.
but you did manage to get 1 pick.
Yeah.
And you only lost Stingers and Sheriffs.
It's not the end of the world.
The gain outweighs the loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Easily there.
It's still 3-0 as well.
Exactly. Don't put yourself at a disadvantage. Now you have a rifles. Went on that even scoreline, but Lanix will fall down, dropping that first rifle.
I swear I had an op shot again.
I feel like I also heard an op shot.
It might be Nanux.
I'm wondering who has it. Very grouped up this round. A little bit different from what we've been seeing recently. Batman goes for the swing straight away. Manages to take out Joblo. The Paranoia coming out through the window. Tricky opting to not take that fight and to just go and try and take some space onto C to stop that plant attempt. But Ailurus maybe have read this. Looks like they're rotating over towards the A site.
Although they are anchoring down.
We have to do a 4-side execute against 1 lonely guy over on A. It's even worse now that Batman has stopped another player from being able to rotate. 2 versus 5.
And Ron's left A.
And you have a rolling thunder and a lockdown.
I don't think you need it.
You don't need
I
it,
really don't.
but it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Round being completely secured.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Opting for a save.
Yeah,
Pub Aim.
it makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the money's not looking too great. It slowly starts,
Placing swarm grenade.
going lower and lower.
You were only just on a pistol round
Yeah.
last round. You don't want to be on a pistol again already.
I think the issue is that Ailurus have started to realize that chamber trip can't do much. If they running down 5 people through garage, there is not much Hubim can do.
Here.
No.
And then you see them like they did, you know, having to cover over on C, and it's a rush, it's a mess, and that's where things start, you know, to go wrong.
Yeah, it definitely does become a mess very quickly. I mean, Bronze does get an exit frag onto Jake at least, but when that chamber trip is pushed,
Yeah.
the best case scenario, when it's pushed by like 3 or 4 players, like
Yeah.
we just saw, oh wow, they are walking a little bit slower.
Yeah.
That's still 4
Exactly.
rifles pointing right at you.
Yeah,
Like, there's not really a lot
100%.
you're going to do.
And you got Joe Blow just staring down all 4 rifles at the same time. Going, okay, no worries.
Like, don't worry guys, I've got
he
this.
tried his best, but unfortunately, you know, there's not much you can do in that situation. And maybe trying to stack a little bit more towards C, or maybe move the chamber over a little bit, maybe switching for that A long possibly, and getting that Sova dot, which could be happening. Yes. Unfortunately, we are going to have a little bit of a tech pause.
But, you know, whilst we're waiting for this match to, you know, kick back off,
Yep.
how do you feel like, I know you're just talking about it a little bit, but
Yeah.
Pub Aim's defense as a whole,
Yeah.
we know that Chamber, it's quite difficult to find where to actually place him.
Yep.
But what else do you feel like could change?
Their comp's not built for defense. They need to be playing attack no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think they're not doing that. They tried it once and pissed around. A little bit, you know, too forceful, I would say, but go for it. You know, go for A long maybe. Try and get some space. I know that Killjoy turret usually tends to sit back and watch it, but even so, you know, if you're doubled up as a pair, you're more likely to get some kills than sitting back and waiting around.
Yeah, and something I would say on that as well is they tried that aggression on first round, which they won that round.
Yeah.
And when they did the aggression in A short, it resulted in getting a kill
Exactly.
and managing to back off as well
100%.
and got numbers advantage straight away. So I think
Yeah.
you're on something. They definitely need to get that aggression going because they have Breach's stun,
Yeah.
they have Omen's paranoia, and then they have both a jet and a chamber.
Yeah.
You separate into those 2 duos,
Mhm.
and then you can have the supporting flash / stun,
Yeah.
and then
exactly.
have the aggressive.
And you
agent
have
peek.
Sova. So you got the information. The information comes through, the blind, the stun, and the jet dash. And it,
Jet
all
dash or chamber
senses
TP.
have been taken away from you.
You could literally do, Breach and Jet on A to do the short play, and then Omen and Chamber could play from Garage to take
Yeah.
pressure mid, or just pick it anywhere, really, to be honest. And then they can get that supporting utility so that it's easier to win that gunfight, and then send someone in who can just escape the gunfight if it goes badly.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even I would say have 2 stacking on C.
Yeah.
Even have 1, you know, not 1 in garage, maybe holding from heaven in garage, just because you have some sort of escape. Seeing how fast Ailurus like to push into that space, it's probably not the best idea. And having that trip in there to help as well, possibly.
Yeah.
And then just having, yeah, like you mentioned, Breach and Jet on A, and then 1 holding B.
Yeah, 2-on-2 split would probably work the best.
Yeah.
And with the chamber trip, something I've noticed as well is there's been a lot of panic of trying to make sure the trip is down before the round even starts.
Yeah.
So the trip keeps being where chamber is stood,
Yes.
which means that they don't care.
Mhm.
But if you put the trip behind the door, which, yeah, you have to wait for barriers to go down
Yeah.
to be able to do that. But when the trip goes off,
Yeah.
if they decide to react to the trip, they have to completely turn away from you.
Yeah.
And it at least gives you a bit of an advantage in that gunfight.
Exactly. Not to mention, it's been put in the same place every time behind that box.
Yeah.
It's a good place, but they're aware of it, and you can shoot for the box,
Yeah.
and it's gone within a second, and it's, you know, what's the point?
They're just completely unfussed by it completely.
Yeah.
And also, when you're against a Sova as well,
Yeah.
a shock dart to take out that trip. If they were ever actually in a position where they felt scared about the trip,
They
a
they
shock
don't
dart and
care
it's
about
sorted.
this chamber holding
No,
defense right now.
they have not worried about it even one time. It looks like we might get Chamber going for the short presence with
See,
the
this is what we
TP set up in
wanted.
A-Link.
Exactly, and the stun is ready from short as well, from Breach.
Might see the aggression which we wanted, but Batman with the op peeking over into C long just gets smoked off to block off that sight line. That is 2 smokes already used, 1 from each side over on C long. Now, no pick was gained from the aggressive short play, but we do have a Chamber with a Marshal hiding in short.
Yeah.
Still able to TP out with the crossover, but gets taken down by the op. The Marshal's big brother is just going to come through and just completely just ruin that play.
Omen with an op on attack. I respect it.
It's Jake, so I'm allowing it. We've seen the
We
shots
have-
which he hits
yeah,
with it,
yeah,
so I'm not
100%.
even going to question him, but Lanix does get scanned out by the Al drone over in short. Iris falls down to Batman and Jake pushing in with the op still. Not letting down any aggression, takes down Lanix. Scans going on in backside. Tricky gets the tap with the Sheriff through the smoke. Shorty to follow up. Then Rons gets a pick, but only to get shut down by Hayden. And it's now going to be 5-3 to Ailurus, who started this match. Was it 3-0?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. But I hope that doesn't put PubAim off, because what they started off with was good.
Yeah.
And I think it's just unfortunate that Ailurus didn't go into the space that they were predicting to be in. But like, you know, we're seeing Chamber go back towards Garage now, and it's like, no, you're doing great on A. Like that's a perfect position to be in, and unfortunately, it just happened to be at the wrong time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying completely, and as well, they need to keep in mind this is an extremely attacker-sided map.
Yeah.
They have an attacker-sided comp.
Yeah.
So all they need to do is get as many rounds as they can on this first half.
That's very true.
And then they're in a decent
more than
spot.
enough, to be fair.
Yeah,
Well.
so they get a couple more rounds. They're in a pretty decent spot to try and take it in second half.
Placing swarm grenade.
Especially now that they've started off this round with number advantage with the pick down long. It's going to force a rotate.
The average
All over
A-Heaven
into
TP.
A-Heaven every time.
You should
But it has been heard. Lockdown going on over towards B. Trying to bait out a rotate, but they know about the Heaven presence. Jake might get caught out here. Just seeing them on the map, just creeping close to each other. Silence have been found, but Jake gets the headshot over onto Ron. Spike will be getting planted down at the front of B site. But no one's pushing back into main to be able to fight this. Lanix
Bot coming back.
takes down Jake, but gets traded out by Latkaj. And there's just... Ailurus have eyes on almost everything. Not a lot of places that you can really go if you're PubAim here. You're going to have to just win these gunfights in a 1v3. Iris, can you do it? But you can't. You get taken out by Hayden.
Flash.
It's down to a 6-3.
Yeah. That was a great pick on A-Heaven there, onto Rons. It's, you know, as soon as they get that pick, they have so much control. B is one of those sites where you can literally wrap around so quickly from any direction and you're back at a different entrance point. And it creates so much panic from PubAim. Because, yeah, you've got like 3 on site right now, which could be anywhere. And you've got 1 in your spawn who's probably wrapping around trying to find any sort of picks again. And you've got to look in about 5 different angles.
Yeah. And you can't really look at 5 different angles.
No.
But we are seeing a bit more of that aggression, which we've been asking for. But Baked Deans does take down Joe Blow over in mid.
But there's 3 of them waiting.
This is a tricky spot for anyone to push. Aldrin coming through to try and find that information. But Flash not quite going through the doorway and bouncing back, flashing your team. It's fine. Batman says calm and collected, gets taken out with a 1-tap, followed by Rons with a 1-tap of his own. Batman and Baked Deans both fall down to the Sheriffs. Number advantage to the pistol team.
Yeah.
Bladestorm still online. Hunter's Fury goes through, but doesn't quite find any impact anywhere. Step out. Corner just completely cleared. Hayden read that like a book. Gets the plant to go down. Iris taken down. That number advantage has been lost. And you're completely separated when you only have pistols. Lanix has to have been heard here. Jake knows. Surely Jake knows. The way he's holding this angle tells me that he knows exactly what's about to happen. With a Vandal in the hands of Lanix, something could happen here if he gets taken out with a headshot. This is not looking great for PubAim, and no. Rons is taken down. Only had a Sheriff with 1 bullet left in the mag.
Hey. Could have been a kill.
Could have got the best collateral we've ever seen.
I mean, that's what you want from a save round, though, right? They got, you know, a decent amount of kills. They did all right. And again, that Sheriff is deadly.
Yeah.
You see 2 kills instantly towards A, and you're like, okay. I think Ailurus kind of had to back off a little bit and re-evaluate what was happening. But even so, they managed to fight. They're in such good positions at all times. You've got 2 holding down long, 1 in garage. They're completely off site, and PubAim kind of, okay, cool, we have sight. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You may think you do. We have got an Odin.
Rons with the Odin, but no scan going through.
No.
What we would expect. Sneaks into, gets the dig, but gets headshot by Batman. Gets taken down. The Odin's already fallen. Didn't even get a chance to see what impact it could have. Clone pushing back all pressure. Spams through the smoke. Baked Deans just gets 2 headshots through the smoke like that. Takes down Iris and Tricky. 3 versus 5. Pub Aim didn't even have a chance to be able to react to his play, let alone counter it. And then it's a full rotate. You get 3 picks over onto C and you rotate over to A, which you know you have full control as well with Killjoy pushed all the way to back site.
Yeah.
This round has been played perfectly by Ailurus. It's never over till it's over, but Pub Aim are going to have to pull out something pretty special to be able to counter this.
And Lanix has an op. You can't retake A with it. I mean, they
Can't
did
use that
before, but
It's extremely difficult.
yeah.
Especially with Jake hiding in hell with the paranoia still not used. Really have to decide as Pub Aim here if you feel like it's worth saving or just giving any random attempt at the win. Looks like the save is going to be the option with Lanix taking that op over into C-Long.
One enemy
TP up into heaven and Joblo doesn't hear it, it gets taken out. One less gun saved. And now Ailurus can go on the hunt. 5 players running around the map looking specifically for you, that has to be terrifying.
That lurk on A though was perfect, right? Because you know it's good when we're so distracted by C that we don't even notice the A lurk. And they work in such a good pair, right? The lurk cannot work without that distraction.
Yeah.
And that distraction cannot work without that.
Last round
Because
before
you
the
know,
switch.
one or two picks. In this case, it didn't need to get a pick. A was completely clear and you got that information. But one cannot work without the other, and it's such a good idea. And it just takes so much space. So easy for them.
Especially when you get 2 headshots for a smoke.
Yeah, that also.
Once you get 3 picks onto C, whoever goes, oh, they killed 3 of us. They're probably going to rotate now.
Yeah, no, you push site.
You assume they're going to push site because they can 5v2.
100%.
Played perfectly by Ailurus, who started this half
Yeah.
very dodgy. And are now 8-3 up.
8 rounds in a row.
That's insane.
Very slow again.
That's what I was just about to say. It's just so slow. And I feel like Lanix is waiting for it, but the tag goes through the wall and doesn't quite take out the kill. Get that dash online, you can still find one. Jake goes down. Batman extremely low HP. You now have that number advantage. Rolling Thunder coming through, but you fall for the clone. Try to get that op back up as quick as you can, but Baked Deans comes around with a flanker, takes you over a headshot. Rons. Odin from heaven. There's an opportunity to just rain down hell onto site. You can just get any info which you need first.
Lurk.
Spike
Again.
planted.
Tricky taken out. Another Rolling Thunder to answer back.
Enemy
3 versus
remaining.
3, and that's for double kill. There's the rain in Hellfire that I talked
exactly
about.
where he is.
But we don't have a lake. Going for that flank, but the shots whiff. Iris down onto extremely low HP.
Yeah.
The defuse will go through, and Pub A managed to clutch out another round, going 8 and 4
Yeah.
for the first half.
That's exactly what you need. Your last round, just
Switching
please
sides.
one more, then we can really start this attack with some sort of, gain. But that lurk was so good, and unfortunately, yeah, okay, it's great, but for example, say the rest of your team die on A site, you're left alone.
Yeah.
You got to quickly run this site and try and make sure they don't defuse the bomb. But unfortunately, it didn't work in their favor. But they are 4 rounds up.
This is true,
Won't complain.
but how are we feeling about the fact that it is an attacker-sided map, and Pub A
It is.
have a much more aggressive comp?
I'm feeling confident that Pub Aim are really going to bring this back. However, we have that Killjoy on defense. And I'm really interested to see how much attack it will deny. The B setup, we tend to see it more on C. But I think Jake's trusted enough to hold it down by himself.
Yeah, the only issue with Jake playing here is smoking A long just takes that a little bit longer, but the spams come through the wall. Batman takes down Rons. Ailurus going with the option of aggression. He's trying to take out some numbers. We've had so much space taken already. Yeah, you have to sit in lobby. The stun is going to come through into back sight. Jake with just the classic. Okay, that counter flash headshot comes through. Joblo falls down.
Here.
This is a strong defense from Ailurus.
Yeah, definitely. But the attack doesn't seem to be
Turret
wanting to. I
destroyed.
don't know. It's still very, very slow considering.
Extremely slow, but Lanix manages to find a spot to hide, but gets taken out with a headshot. These classics just racking up kills.
I think Batman might have heard a few steps.
You have to commit to a site at this point. You don't really have time to mess about with any more rotates. Spike will be getting planted down. Batman trying to just take that space. Up in heaven, I mean, it's going to be a 5-man retake. A tricky spot for anyone. And both tucking into hell together doesn't really feel like necessarily the smartest idea, especially with Iris. With the stun. Flash bounced all the way back up and blinded Batman. It didn't even blind anyone in hell. I've not seen that before, but Iris gets the pick with the classic. Tricky following up, takes down Jake. Iris with another Tricky. But the defuse goes through! So it's a round for Ailurus anyway, even though the 2 versus 5 was won.
Oh,
There is
such
no
a good
way.
clutch.
There is no way that whole time you're telling me the defuse is just going on. And we didn't even notice because of the chaos.
Exactly. And it's that distraction once again. That's all you need. It's a bit of time to defuse that spike. It's so unfortunate.
Extremely
They're
unfortunate.
both stunned and they're still getting both of those kills.
Honestly,
Unbelievable.
that shouldn't be happening.
No.
And I really want to talk about Batman's flash. Why did it bounce so high and go back above hell? I didn't think it could bounce that far. I thought we were about to see a complete change to complete aggression, but I think Lanix did catch wind of the Killjoy setup over on B.
Yeah.
I really want to push in on that when you don't really have armor.
Guns aren't looking too great, and it might be worth playing a little bit slow and trying to get 1 or 2 picks or any aggression.
The headshot comes through. Dink over onto Tricky as well, put down onto half HP. The spams through the wall. Lanix takes you out with the Sheriff. Traded out by Baked Deans. 3 versus 4. And this is the point where you just get forced to slow down completely when you have a lurk over towards A. Only 2 with pistols hiding over in mid. You managed to find the timing to get out of mid though.
Yeah. The issue is now is they gotta make a decision, sorry. But unfortunately it was just too slow. Batman is there.
30
Spam
seconds
through the
left.
wall with the Outlaw.
Such a good gun as well.
And now you know exactly what site's going to be, but you can't even scope in, so you can't even stop this now because you're stunned. They can have a util, gets the aftershock placed on you, and the Outlaw comes through and gets the last 2 kills anyway. 10-4 to Ailurus.
It's so hard because the Outlaw on a pistol round, on the second round, it's so strong. Especially with that Killjoy turret, you know, everyone's basically one tap. And it's really hard to counter. But to be fair, you know, that stun was really strong, and he managed to get onto site and stop that scope like you mentioned. And it's just unfortunate that Pub Aim aren't managing to get these. But what I found is Rons keeps dying first, really early on, and it's unfortunate, but why is Sova the first one to die every time?
That is a really good question. I feel like it's because of the fact that they keep going aggressive and then they slow down completely.
Yeah.
So Lanix isn't really getting the opportunity to even get that first kill, gets put down on 24 HP already. They don't even realize there is a full 3-man flank coming through. Spam's coming through the smoke. Jake's trying to find any damage that he can. Gets double smoked. Spike plan is going to start going down, but the Outlaw through the CT smoke to take down Lanix. Can't go through the wall, but don't manage to connect. Jake's still full HP. Paranoia going down onto site. You have 1 more smoke back online. You could try and get a little bit more pressure. There's still all 5 players on Ailurus alive, but the plan has gone down. But Batman with wallbang onto Iris, but Tricky and Ron's following up with a kill in sync, but then get taken out with kills in sync by Baked Deans and Black. 11-4.
What we saw on the map was so you mentioned the 3-man flank, right? And they're watching out for this chamber trip. They don't want to get caught. And they're like, hold on a minute. There's no trip.
Yeah.
And they just ran it down.
Yeah.
And they immediately, that sandwich created so much tension. And it looked, you know, you would see 2 of them left towards backside trying to, you know, gun down a zombie apocalypse almost. And it's just not working. You mentioned the kills at the same time. Yeah, brilliant. But Lyria's going to come back 10 times harder.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what they do.
Yeah.
And it's what they keep doing, and it's why they're 11-4 up. I feel like as well, Pub Aim are sort of emulating the playstyle they saw from Ailurus. And I don't think it works for the players on Pub Aim. I think they're a lot more aggressive. And they're having a lot more success when they just run it down and go in. Obviously even try to take that space, which might be exactly what we're going to do now. Updraft going up on top of the box. Looking for that space back site. You've pushed everyone off. You have to take out that lockdown, but you don't manage to find it. Gets taken out with a headshot. And all B site pressure is backed off over into mid. Dodging that flash, Ron's manages to find a headshot over onto Jake, but Batman Baked Dean's lack in that order with headshots of her own, but Joblo manages to take down Hayden. With this defuse just going on in the smoke again. Too far away to even hear it. Joblo manages to get another headshot. It's a bit of economy damage, but it's 12-4. Economy damage doesn't really matter anymore.
It's not looking great. And you mentioned about, trying to emulate Ailurus' gameplay. I don't think PubAim, you can see the coordination in Ailurus. And PubAim, they're all great friends, but I don't think that they've got that kind of timing that Ailurus do. And you can see the comms working, right, with Ailurus. And it's going so well, they're so coordinated. And I just don't think it's at the same level with PubAim.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, we knew PubAim would here just for fun. Maybe going for those meme strats, and the wallbang goes through and manages to get a little bit of damage, but Lannox does some strange movement and manages to take out Batman. Takes that op for himself, takes down Hayden, and you go on to find another, but you get taken down with a transfer. Ron's and Lannox both fall in seconds to Baked Deans.
Last player standing.
Headshot through to Joblo. It's looking like it's over. Tricky, you're on your own. Taken out with the headshot. It's going to be a 13-4 win to Ailurus.
Right. I did. Who's up for a debrief?
We did expect that to... We expected Ailurus to win.
Yeah.
But we didn't expect it to be a 13-4.
I know, I wanted a little bit of a more closer game, unfortunately. There were still some very, very good players, but it unfortunately, wasn't as close as we
weren't
predicted.
quite able to capitalize on any of the damage which they were managing to find, but they were they were here for fun. They just wanted to put on a good show.
We had 4 different wallbang op shots for that
At
map.
least.
At least, yeah. From what I counted, there could have been way more, but it's great to see. We saw a lot of different styles of gameplay.
True.
Which we love to see. And we mentioned, everyone's here for fun at the end of the day.
Yeah. Very true.
And you can clearly see that in the gameplay.
Yeah, and I mean 13-4 loss. Don't let it get to you. You're here for fun. So carry on having your fun and carry on doing meme strats, and hopefully we'll see some more results coming through on your page later. But we will be throwing over to a short little 10-minute break. So don't go too far. Stay close, and we'll see you soon.